The Adverse Childhood Experiences study, I think, was just a profound breakthrough in helping us understand what happens if we don't address healthy early childhood development, if we don't provide what children need early on, and the effects that that can have.
The 10 questions looked at not only what we would automatically think of as a trauma, physical abuse, sexual abuse, but also family system issues and neglect. 10 simple questions. The higher your score with ACE means the more chronic adverse experiences that you've had. The lower the ACE score, the less amount that you've had.
And then they looked at the resulting behavior as those children grew up. And what they found was that the more of these adverse childhood experiences that someone had in childhood, the more likely they were to engage in risky kinds of behavior or unhealthy kinds of behavior like smoking or alcoholism, illicit drug use.
The more adverse childhood experiences that you have, the more at risk you are for adult onset illnesses. And they include things not only like mental health issues and addictions, but also things like obesity, cancer, heart disease.
Mental health professionals are really using this survey. It's very simple to use, it's free, and I could give it to you. And the questions on there would be very indicative of what you might have experienced as a child that maybe would answer some questions about why you are the way you are today, particularly around the areas of health and mental health.
Some of the questions on the ACE survey would be as simple as, is someone in your family ever incarcerated? Another very simple question, did you grow up in a single family or in a divorced family? Very simple. Or more complex, were you hit? Were people, did they make you feel badly, telling you you're worthless and no good? Questions regarding sexual abuse, did anyone ever touch you in a way that was inappropriate?
But the revelation to the person itself who's taking the test is really an eye-opener. It really opens the door when people say, oh yes, this is me. Oh yes, this happened to me. I never thought of it like that. Yes, I came home and Mom was unable to care for me because she drank. And she often was either not home or she was not able to fix dinner. She had been drinking in the afternoon. I see that. Now, yes, that happened to me. Yes, my parents were eventually divorced, maybe. So in therapy then, people are able to take those questions and start to apply them to their own life. And the therapist's job then is to really help them work through that issue. But when people can identify that themselves and say, instead of me sitting here telling you, well, that's what's wrong with you, they'd say, no, this is what's wrong with me. And then they're a little more willing to accept it and deal with it, and more accepting and more willing to change on their own.
Depending on ACE numbers and history of different experiences, some people are going to have more resources to recover from that than others. Kids who've lived in generational poverty, and in West Virginia, there's a huge rate. There's a huge likelihood that kids, even kids that have working parents, are living below poverty level. So, they have had these numbers. They have these numbers because of the risk factors. And so when you're looking at generational poverty, you're looking to decrease those numbers for the next generation in whatever way that you can. And the more skills you have to become resourceful yourself, the more skills you obviously can teach to your children, the less risk you're going to place your children in.
I'll give an example. We had a girl in residential care. She was with us almost 18 years ago, but she's also always stayed in contact with us. Her ACE score was a 9. Her daughter, who while the mom was with us, she had her daughter. while she was with us, this young mom learned things about attaching and emotional attachment with her daughter. She learned ways of building resiliency within her relationship with her daughter. She understood why it was important for her daughter to have a safe place to land emotionally. Her daughter's score is a 3. Her daughter is 18. She's going to college. So if you look at that, were we able to stop the cycle of abuse and poverty? Yeah.